Have you ever stopped to think about what is holding you back from achieving your dreams? What makes you hesitate, retreat, and stay stuck in the same position, unable to move forward? What many fail to realize is that the biggest obstacle we face in our lives is not the external difficulties, but rather the internal fears we carry. Imagine a world where you are not afraid of failing, of taking risks, or of exposing yourself. A world where you face your challenges head-on, without the shadow of doubts holding you back. Does it seem like a distant dream? What if I told you that it is possible if you decide to confront your fears? In this video, we will explore why facing our fears is crucial, not only for our personal growth, but for transforming our lives in ways you never imagined. Get ready for a journey of discovery and overcoming, where you will learn how to conquer the fears that hold you back and uncover the true potential within you. Are you ready to take the first step towards freedom? Then stay with us and discover how facing your fears can be the key to the life you've always dreamed of. Let's get to know the story of Laura, a young woman full of dreams but also of fears. Since she was little, Laura has always had a deep desire to become an artist. However, there was one fear that paralyzed her, the fear of being judged. The mere thought of performing in public made her heart race and her hands sweat. She lived with the constant worry that her creations were not good enough. Laura would spend hours locked away in her studio, hidden from others' opinions. Her creativity flourished, but her fear kept her trapped in a bubble of insecurity. She knew she had talent, but the idea of exposing herself to criticism made her retreat. One day, Laura decided to participate in a local art exhibition, but the night before was tormenting. Anxiety overwhelmed her, and thoughts of failure and rejection began to haunt her. However, at dawn, Laura made a courageous decision. She would face her fear head-on. She knew that to achieve her dreams, she needed to overcome the barrier that prevented her from showing her true potential. At the exhibition, Laura felt her heart race as strangers observed her work. But something incredible happened. Every smile, every compliment, every positive reaction made her confidence grow. She discovered that the fear that paralyzed her was not an insurmountable wall, but a challenge she could face and overcome. By the end of the night, Laura felt immense relief and satisfaction. She had conquered not only the fear, but also the limitations it imposed. The exhibition was not only a success, but the beginning of a new journey where fear would no longer be an obstacle, but a springboard for her growth. As Laura began to feel more confident, the fear did not disappear completely. Instead, she learned to deal with it in a new way. She realized that fears often have deep roots, and confronting them requires more than a simple act of courage. It requires understanding and continuous action. Laura began to reflect on the origin of her fear. She remembered the criticisms she had received in school, the discouraging words that echoed in her mind, and the insecurities that had accumulated over the years. These moments had become the fertile ground for her fears, feeding a belief that she might not be good enough. Through self-reflection, Laura understood that her fears were a distorted way of protecting herself. They were a reflection of her insecurities and not an absolute truth about her worth or abilities. With this new perspective, Laura began to challenge herself in ways that once seemed unthinkable. She decided to start a gratitude journal where she would write daily about the things that made her feel good and the achievements she reached. Each small success was a victory over fear, proof that she was moving forward. Laura also sought support from friends and mentors, people who believed in her potential and helped her see beyond the limitations imposed by fear. The process was not easy. With every step, Laura encountered new challenges and old ghosts. There were days when the fear seemed almost unbearable and doubt threatened to pull her back. But each time Laura faced these difficulties, she grew stronger. The fear which once paralyzed her, now became a sign that she was venturing into unknown territory and growing. Laura learned that facing our fears is a journey of self-discovery and resilience. It's about recognizing the stories we tell ourselves and changing the narrative. By understanding the origin of her fears and working to overcome them, Laura began to unlock her true potential. As Laura delved deeper into the journey of facing her fears, she realized something crucial. Fear, as terrifying as it may seem, does not simply disappear because we decide to confront it once. It is a constant that requires dedication and continuous action. And that is exactly what Laura discovered. Determined to transform her fear into a source of motivation, Laura began to seek new forms of challenge and personal growth. One of the most significant ways was through creating new artistic projects that forced her out of her comfort zone. Each new project represented an opportunity to grow, learn, and face new fears. Laura also began to connect with other artists and professionals who shared their own stories of struggle and overcoming. These interactions were a revelation for her. She realized she was not alone in her journey. Everyone faced their own fears and insecurities, and together they could support and grow. Additionally, Laura began practicing visualization techniques and positive affirmations. Before starting any new project or presentation, she imagined herself achieving success and visualized the positive outcome. This practice helped reduce anxiety and strengthen her confidence, turning the energy of fear into a driving force. However, the true test of her transformation came at an unexpected moment. Laura was invited to participate in a major national art competition. It was an incredible opportunity, but also a monumental challenge. The fear began to arise again, threatening her newly found confidence. But instead of retreating, Laura used all the tools she had acquired on her journey. With each sketch, each brushstroke, Laura faced her fears head-on. She didn't let fear paralyze her. Instead, she used it as fuel to create something truly special. The competition became a milestone not only for her career, but for her life. Laura discovered that facing her fears was not a destination, but a continuous journey, where each challenge overcome brought her closer to her goals. Laura faced her greatest fear, the fear of being judged. Instead of letting it dominate her, she decided not to let her fears define her future. Here are some tips inspired by Laura's journey to help you face your own fears. First, acknowledge and understand your fear. Laura didn't ignore her fear, she faced it. Start by identifying what exactly scares you and why. What's behind your fear? Understanding its roots is the first step to overcoming it. Second, turn fear into motivation. Laura used her fear as fuel to grow. Instead of letting fear paralyze her, she used it to challenge and push herself. See your fear as an opportunity for development, not as an insurmountable obstacle. Third, set small goals. When facing a big fear, break it down into smaller steps. Laura did this by creating smaller art projects before facing the big competition. Each small goal achieved is a victory that brings you closer to overcoming the fear. Fourth, seek support and inspiration. Laura wasn't alone in her journey. Connect with others who are facing similar challenges. Your friends, mentors, and peers can offer valuable support, advice, and encouragement. Fifth, use visualization and positive affirmations. Before embarking on new challenges, visualize success and use affirmations to strengthen your confidence. Laura did this to prepare for the art competition, and you can do the same for any challenge you are facing. Sixth, act even with fear. Fear may never disappear completely, and that's okay. Laura proved that even with fear, you can move forward and achieve your goals. Don't wait until you feel completely fearless to act. Move forward despite it. Seventh, celebrate each small victory. Each step you take to face your fear is an achievement. Laura celebrated her small victories, which motivated her to keep going. Reward yourself and acknowledge your progress at each stage of the journey. Eighth, turn fear into learning. See each challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow. Laura learned to turn fear into a tool for personal and professional growth. Use your challenges as a chance to become stronger and more resilient. Laura's journey teaches us a valuable lesson. Facing our fears is not just about overcoming an obstacle, but about discovering the strength and potential that already lie within us. Laura faced her fears, turned them into fuel for her growth, and by doing so, unlocked new possibilities in her life. Each challenge she overcame brought her closer to her dreams and helped her become a more confident and fulfilled version of herself. Her story is a shining example of how the courage to face our fears can open doors to a more promising and rewarding future. Now it's your turn. What fears are you facing in your life? How can you turn these challenges into opportunities for growth? Remember, facing your fears is a crucial step in unlocking your true potential and living a fulfilling life. If you found inspiration in Laura's story and the tips we shared, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more motivational videos that will help you face your challenges and achieve your dreams. Leave a comment below sharing which fear you are ready to face and how you plan to overcome it. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with those who also need a bit of inspiration to face their own fears. Your interaction is crucial for us to continue bringing content that truly makes a difference in the lives of people like you. Thank you for watching and for being part of our community. Remember, the journey to face your fears starts with the first step. Let's take that step together.